Excuse my voice. Hello and welcome back. Sorry about that. It's really hard to whisper in my voice's condition. Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Crow in a Trench Coat. Welcome back to another video of me playing Minecraft while I'm sick with strep throat. This one I feel like is going to be a little bit of an ASMR video because I have to be quiet because, sorry, I'm just going to turn it down a little bit just because I can't hear myself, and so that'll like prompt me to be louder, and I don't need to be louder. Anyway, as was I saying, this video is probably going to be a little bit more of an ASMR video, just because I need to be quiet because my boyfriend Robert is sleeping in the same room, and I don't want to wake him up, and it is currently 1 in the morning. The reason why I'm up so late is because I was sick. I was having a bit of a headache, and so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna lay down for a second and just close my eyes and maybe the headache will go away, and I accidentally fell asleep for like 3 hours. And so now I have all of the energy in the world. Sorry for the keep clicking back to the window screen. I keep trying to play with the audio mixer to make sure that I'm not hurting anyone on, like, any viewers with like maybe sensitive ears. Cause like, hold on. There's no way to like show you my mixer. I keep seeing like orange, and that needs to not be happening. Maybe I'm not quite sure. Does this help? Maybe. I'm just gonna leave it where I have it, and then hopefully I don't hurt you guys' ears. Anyway, so with that introduction out of the way, I'm gonna say let's just get right to it. So I am actually a little bit excited because I did something really cool. So essentially what I did was, so I had a craving for pasta salad. I don't know if any of you guys know what pasta salad is, but it's my favorite thing ever, especially like the Betty Crocker box mixes called like Suddenly Salad. They're my absolute favorite. We didn't have any, and so I took so long trying to find one online, which is partly why I'm up at like 1 o'clock. It was because I was looking for a recipe so I could cook something and eat it. I actually went on Reddit. Give me a second. Where'd it go? Okay. So I found a recipe online by the Reddit user Hot Conclusion 2607. It was posted a year ago. But basically, like, the recipe worked really well. I had to tweak it a little bit for my own personal taste, but that ended up making it taste exactly like the box seasoning packet mixes. Because that's the only problem. Like, I have plenty of pasta in the house. I have plenty of pasta to cook. It's just that I couldn't find seasoning. I couldn't find any seasoning. So I looked up the recipe. I'm like, yeah, that's doable. I have all the ingredients here. The only ingredients that I didn't have, I altered just a little bit. Like, they were wanting a half cup each of diced red bell pepper, diced green bell pepper, and then diced red onion. I didn't have any of that, but they already had me using quite a bit of onion powder, and I'm a little bit sensitive to onion taste. Like, if you do too much of it, it's really overpowering. Or am I thinking of garlic? It might have been garlic. They have a similar taste anyway. So they were already having me use quite a bit of that, and so I was just like, if I were to put onion, like the actual onion in here anyway, it would probably overdo it. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to substitute all three of them for paprika powder to taste. And that worked, because all paprika is, if you didn't know, because I didn't know this until really recently, thanks to Jordan the Stallion on TikTok, the guy that reveals all of the restaurant secret recipes and like tells you animals that he is now afraid of due to really weird facts about them. So I learned this extremely recently. Paprika, like powdered paprika that you buy from the store, all it is just dried and ground up red bell pepper. So I figured that's how it covers me, because like, to me, all bell peppers, like the red, orange, yellow, green bell peppers, to me they don't really taste all that different. The only difference is the subtle sweetness rise or lower depending on which kind of bell pepper you get. Other than that, they all taste the same to me. So that would have covered both the red and green, like diced bell pepper it was wanting. But But the only other thing that I did personally for me was to make it taste a little bit more like the powder packet, because, like, you know, it's a powder packet. You need to add the wets into the dries to make it a sauce for your pasta salad when it comes in a box. And so for the instructions on the box, it says to use 2 tablespoons of olive oil and then 3 tablespoons of cold water. Because there were already wets in the dries for this mix that I was doing, because it also had me use white vinegar, it had me use mayonnaise and sour cream, so there were already wets in this. So I felt like I didn't need water. But to make it taste a little bit more like a packet, I did put olive oil in it. And at first I was going to be like, oh, I'll just use olive oil to taste. But the thing is, I did it in a smart way. I did the olive oil to taste in tablespoon increments. So I would put 1 tablespoon in, I tasted, and I'm like, it's not enough. So I kept doing this. I kept doing like tablespoon increments of to taste. Where's my wool? I don't have any wool. That's bad. And so because I was doing the tablespoon to taste increments, I ended up putting 4 tablespoons in there, which sounds like a lot, but it really wasn't. And honestly, it was kind of worth it too, because it was so good. Why does there have to be a creeper right there? Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited that I did that, because I've always also been a terrible cook. And so doing this made me feel like I am very happy about it. well do a little bit of talking since I have to sit here because I did stupid and now I have no idea where the creeper is, and I'm afraid that if I move any way too close to the wall, my house will explode. So, if you guys remember, oh, excuse me. So sorry about that. Anyway, if you guys remember last video, I was talking about the children's series that I used to, read as a child and I'm now rereading as an adult. It's called Warriors, but because there's so many other things called Warriors, such as, the basketball team, I think there's a hockey team, I could be wrong. There could be many different types of sports teams named Warriors. I'm honestly not sure. Maybe it's just basketball. The reason why I know basketball for sure is because, I'll try to look up, Warriors trivia, and it'll confuse itself at first, and it'll give me wiki on the basketball team. So that's how I know basketball for sure, because I don't even watch basketball. I don't know nothing. And so, there's also all sorts of other things that Warriors, the series, could be confused with, because that's the only title, is just, it's Warriors. And so the fandom, in order to, not confuse others, or the internet when they're trying to look stuff up, is you have to specify warrior cats, which I think is funny, because then you have to drop the S from the title and add it to the added thing for less confusion. So it's funny. So it's not warriors cats, it's warrior cats, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. But I was talking about them last video, and so I might as well talk about them in this video to help relieve some needed to nerd out stress. That's adorable. I didn't know an Enderman was there. I love Endermen so much. They're probably my favorite mob. So what I'm gonna do is, because I'm an absolute nerd, is I'm gonna just come out and talk about it in the way of a trivia dump. And so I feel so bad for some of my viewers out there that don't care, but in a way, I feel like this would gear towards people who thrive off of just hearing drama and spilling of tea. Because oh my god, is there a lot? Like the trends that are on TikTok and stuff about dropping your lore, that's pretty much what this is. There's just so much lore, especially about specific cats' stories. It's honestly kind of insane, and I can't go outside still because there's that goddamn creeper. I'm not sure if my axe is gonna make it, honestly. Bruh. Darn it! My house. I'd better have some wood left, honestly. I had some. Sure. But yeah, just essentially, I feel I'm gonna go ahead and just like start out. Awesome. My first and only pickaxe. You know, I should probably close my door. But yeah. But I know some viewers, like, they thrive on, like, listening to drama, and so that's pretty much what a lot of this is going to be, just for, like, a fantasy, pretty much kids book, but, you know, we listen, we don't judge, especially when it comes to, like, people's hobbies and interests, because that's, like, a big thing about, like, considering my interests, I do not enjoy judging on others' interests, just because, like, I know that I've been judged in the past, and it felt hurtful. And because I feel like, especially nowadays, due to like Twitter and Tumblr and things that like brought people together and like a community, a lot of people, because like, especially in like the early 2000s, I feel like a lot of people who were spread out thought that they were like probably the only people who were interested in the series. And so then due to the internet community and whatever, you know, people were like, oh, we're bigger than we thought, because, you know, because like, I'm pretty sure this is also like a worldwide love series. Like, a lot of people in the Americas, they actually like to buy the international books, especially based on what I've heard, the Polish versions, because the covers look really good and that the art is very unique. I personally am also a little bit saddened, just because, like, when I was first collecting these series, I would buy the old art versions rather than the new art versions, because I personally just don't like the new art versions. This is just a personal thing with me, but for me, the new art looks like AI. It looks like AI. I know for a fact it's not, just because there is a credited artist in the art, but it's just the way it looks. Like, that's just that artist's style, but it's just the way it looks. It looks like AI art to me, but if you look at it, like, it's very consistent. There aren't really any places on the art that don't make sense. It's just the art style and the way it looks that makes it look like that for me, and I don't enjoy it. Also, it makes it look like a overly realistic, like really overly realistic computer-generated cat selfie. That's the way the new art looks, and I just personally don't like it. I don't remember the old artist's name. I could probably look it up in a second. But let me close my doors so that way I don't die. Let me go grab my stuff first so I don't die. Excuse me. Give me a second. Oh crap. Oh well. Wayne. Hold on. I am so sorry. I feel like I'm gonna butcher this name and it makes me feel so sad. I'm just confused because the spelling, but it's Wayne McLoughlin, I think. It's McLoughlin. That makes me think it's McLoughlin, but I'm not for sure. But he passed passed away in 2015, and so then ever since then he was replaced as by oh my god, my English. So Wayne, when he passed away, because they still needed artists because they were still continuing the series, was replaced by Owen Richardson, who is the guy that's making the overly realistic cat selfies. Wait, what? Are you kidding? Well, I know that for next time. Isn't that such an interesting revelation? Stupid ass shit. But yeah, I honestly prefer Wayne's art just because it looks like actual art to me and not just overly realistic cat selfies. And I'm sure that there's other people that agree with me. I'm sure there's other people who disagree with me. I appreciate the art for what it is. I just don't like the look of it, and that's just a personal preference. I feel like I'm getting the crafting down as well. Let me go ahead and make a new this. I didn't know that using an axe instead of pickaxe would get rid of it. Let me go ahead and get a piece of chicken. But anyway, I guess let's go ahead and get on with the dumping, the trivia dumping. So I'm sure as many of you remember, like I was talking about like the 4 clans, there's technically 5, but you know, screw Sky Clan. Now I feel like I am potentially being a little bit unfair because I've never read anything about Sky Clan. I just know that they do exist. I remember that they were briefly mentioned, and then they were never mentioned again for several years, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Sky Clan's here, and they're super important for some reason, and I heard about that, and I was just like, that's so stupid. Like, that sounds like it was a rushed, fixed plot hole. But I also haven't read anything about it, so I feel like I'm being a little bit unfair. Like, Robert's actually said this to me before. Like, he's like, it sounds like you're, like, just jumping the gun here and just, like, hating on Sky Clan for absolutely 0 reason. And the way I am. I was shamelessly doing it. I'm going to continue to do it until I am proven otherwise that, they're not as bad as they seem. And that they aren't a rushed plot hole device. I probably shouldn't go too far, but like I really need, that's good to know that that's there. I'll probably come back later during the day. I probably need to go ahead and start heading home. I was hoping to find some sheep so I could make a bed. But so as people remember, if you remember, like, hopefully. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of my mind because I'm still kind of sick. I'm getting better though. I went to the doctor a couple of days ago and I got some medication. Please get away from you, stupid zombie. But yeah, I got some medicine a few days ago, so I am feeling a little bit better. My throat still hurts, but it's not as bad as before. My tonsils still swollen, so that kind of sucks. Are you kidding me? I can't sprint anymore? That's stupid. Yeah, I was hoping to find a bed so I would So there are the 4 clans. There's Thunder Clan, Shadow Clan. Give me a second. Oh, my brain's rebooting, I guess. There's Shadow Clan, Wind Clan, River Clan, Thunder Clan. There's those 4 clans. Then there's, Sky Clan. There's also another thing I didn't talk about. It's called the Tribe of Rushing Water. It's a completely different thing. It's not really a clan, but it's also not Sky Clan. It's just a thing that exists. For a bit of context for the Tribe of Rushing Water, so there were a bunch of ancient cats, right? So all of them, I'm pretty sure, they all share ancestors. I'm pretty sure they all kind of started, by the new territory, the lake. Because the thing is, there's 3 territories, technically 4 if you count Sky Clan, but I'm not right now. There's the Old Forest territory for the clans, that's where you originally start reading. There's the New Lake territory, which you start reading late, New Prophecy, and more so Season 3, and then so on. Season 3, Arc 3. So, Power of 3. That's what the series is called, ironically. Are you kidding me? That one? Okay. But, yeah. So there's the Old Forest territory where you start reading. There's the New Lake territory where you would then start reading, late Arc 2, late Arc 2, and what's it called? Oh my god. The rest of what I've at least read, basically. So, series 3 to 4. And then probably so on. I just don't know for sure. So there's the Old Forest, the New Lake, and then there's also the Mountain Territory, which is where the Tribe of Rushing Water live. My brain could brain. So I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure that the clans, all of them, and then the Tribe of Rushing Water, I'm pretty sure they all share ancestors, like the people who came before them. And I'm pretty sure they all started at the Lake Territory. Because there was this thing that was happening where, because you remember, hopefully, that when I was talking about it, the apprentice mentor thing in the clans. Because, there's kits, and then once a kit becomes 6 moons, it's ready to become an apprentice, a paw. And so then you're with your mentor for a given amount of time, because, it always varies. It depends on your training, it depends on how fast you learn, and how ready they think you are to become a warrior. And so with all those factors, it always varies on how quickly you become a warrior. I would say it probably takes maybe 10 months or more to become a warrior, because they also use the word moons, which moon means month, because they go on the lunar cycle or whatever. And so, but I feel like that's a really super simple way to do it. Now, back in the old times, when all of them together, there was no clans, there was no Tribe of Rushing Water. They were all just this one big group of cats that all shared ancestors and just lived together. By the lakes, there's this really ancient underground tunnel system. And so what would happen, because the ancient clans, their warrior and apprentice was Softpaw and Sharpclaw. Softpaw was the equivalent to an apprentice, and the Sharpclaw was the equivalent to a warrior. And we get a little peek of this in Power of 3, and not Home of the Stars. Only Power of 3, which is the 3rd arc. So Jay Feather, a modern clan cat who is a part of Thunder Clan and a medicine cat apprentice, he has the ability to walk into people's dreams. And also, I guess, see into the past. And so he looks into the past a little bit and is following the story of Fallen Leaves, a softpaw. And so he's watching Fallen Leaves, and so he is essentially a softpaw, and so in order to become a softpaw, you have to go into the tunnels and then be able to make it out the next day. If you make it out on your own and you're okay, then you become a sharp claw. And so Fallen Leaves went in, which there was also this older cat who, so Jay Feather had found this stick. The stick is what was able to connect him to the past, because the stick was really long and lanky and it had all of its bark stripped off, but there were these claw marks on it. Some were left untouched and then a few were crossed out. We learned, due to this look in the past, that there was a cat who lived in the tunnels constantly. All he did was live there. He was not really sociable, but he helped softpaws try to pass their test to become sharp claws. And by help, I don't really mean help, but he kind of like stood there and was like introducing them, like, here are the tunnels, choose the path you would like to go, and just try to make it out. And he would also ask them, is the sky clear? The reason why he would ask this is because if the sky was not clear, he would not let you try to take the test, because if it were to rain, the tunnels would flood, and therefore you would not survive, because you would drown because the tunnels are flooded. And so he asked Fallen Leaves, is the sky clear? And because Fallen Leaves would have been embarrassed if he didn't take the test, he lied and said, yes, the sky is clear. And so I don't know, for some reason he decided to lie and say the sky was clear. And so Rock was just like, his name is Rock, by the way, he's a blind Sphinx cat who lives in the tunnels. Because he has the stick. He was the one, like, jotting down the claw marks. And so Rock, oh my god, I wish my brain could work sometimes with you guys. But anyway, did I close my doors? I did not. But so Fallen Leaves lied so he could take the test, and so Rock told him, okay, like, he was just like, the tunnels, go. And so Fallen Leaves starts heading down the tunnels to try and find his way back out, because, like, literally the test is so simple. All you have to do is go in the tunnels, and then, because, like, if the sky is clear, then there's no rain to be flooded, then there's no emergency. You can kind of just, like, travel the tunnels at your own pace and just find the exit, because at some point you would find the exit. It might take a while, but you'll do it. But anyway, so he was traveling the tunnels trying to find the exit. It starts to rain, so the tunnel starts to flood. Unfortunately, the tunnel he decided to go down was a dead end, and so it was already like halfway flooded before he could even try to turn around. And so he ended up drowning. So he did not make it out, he did not become a sharp claw, and in fact passed away. And so the mark that Rock initially put down on the stick to let him know, like, hey, he's taking the test to become a sharp claw, he crossed it out because he had passed away. Because, like, first of all, if any of the soft paws attempt to take the test, then they just get scratched down onto the stick. If they pass, the scratch just gets left alone. No, I have it backwards. If you pass the test, then you're crossed out, being like you became a sharp claw. If you either just failed and didn't become a sharp claw and stayed a soft paw, then your scar was left untouched. Same if you passed, like Fallen Leaf. So he had passed, and his scratch was left untouched. Where was that thing that I found earlier? It was easier to see at night because it glowed. But now that I'm not there, was it there? I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. Hold on. Am I nuts? I feel like I am. Let's go, sheep. I've been needing sheep. Finally. Please, let's go. I can finally sleep at night, you guys. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to home I go. And I do also want to find that, like, you know, broken portal, because, you know, I can get good stuff from that. But yeah, so Fallen Leaves had passed and did not become Sharpclaw. And so pretty much what happened really soon after that is they had decided that the place was too dangerous, like they weren't getting the resources that they used to from it, and so they were having to try harder to survive for longer. And so pretty much what had happened is they had come to a decision. And so they were like, we need to do, like, do the stones. Like, there was a proper name for it, I just can't remember it in this moment. But pretty much they were like, it's time to pass stones. That sounds like it means passing kidney stones. That's not what I meant. But the stones pretty much just means like, hey, we need to vote to make a decision. And so the decision was, do we stay or do we move on? And so most of the cats had decided to move, which is how they ended up. Most of them ended up going to the mountains. They had decided to travel to the mountains. And so that's how the tribe of Rushing Water started, was the ancient cats from there that moved to the mountains. And I feel like, this is just a little theory of mine, like this is not confirmed, but like that, because, which again, I also haven't read all the books, I'm going based off what information I have, because like, oh my god, I really need to catch up, but based on what knowledge I have, this is a little theory of mine. So along with some of the ancient cats that had decided to move to the mountains to become the tribe of Rushing Water later on, I feel like some of them felt like they couldn't do well in the mountains, and so they had decided to move on further, which is then how they found the forest and became the clans, which I could be totally wrong. I feel like I am absolutely wrong on some part. And that, if my brain can work, is how they also became clans. Which it's getting close to cutting off this video for right now time, because I didn't realize that I've been doing this for nearly 40 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff away. see you guys later. I guess if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Every single one is deeply appreciated. And if you guys like the Warriors rant, I am absolutely happy to continue. If not, just in the comments, tell me, shut up, pick a new topic. Cause like, I never know when to stop, I kinda just like do. Which because of my recording process, there may be a few more videos or two of me ranting about Warriors, just cause, you know, I record multiple in a session. And you know, I'm not tired because I actually slept for like 3 hours, so I have so much energy. Anyway, thank you, and